Hi guys, I'm going to read you a $1 trillion grant proposal read at 205 words per minute that was submitted in 2014 for solicitation on November 9, 2007 about commercialization information by LLNL through the Department of Energy. This is a serious proposal that involves the acquisition of a technology known as the modular electromechanical flywheel battery for bulk storage on ipo.llnl.gov. This technology also requires the use of another ancillary technology known as the opticondensor. And this technology, as the opticondensor, can receive transmissions that were once reported as 99.5% efficient, meaning they'd only lose 0.5% efficiency for the discharge frequency interval. And for that frequency interval, we estimated 0.5% loss at 99.5%, transmitting every 6 hours a charge of a full 40 megawatts, which is approximately 40 megawatts every 24 hours. So that's every 6 hours we'd send 40 megawatts with a $400 million investment, since each flywheel can contain 100 kilowatt per hour of power if it is distributed that way. And this can go on for a number of years into the future until the fuel cells eventually will run out of capacity just by the sake of having used them for so long, and maybe even as long as 50 and 100 years. But the technology would replace the electrical grid, and this is my 2-minute brief intro.
Reverend. November 9, 2007. Commercialization information to be completed by companies interested in licensing LLNL technology. Request for commercialization information. Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, LLNL, managed and operated by Lawrence Livermore National Security, LLC for the Department of Energy. Requests that all potential licensees answer the questions and outlines your company's capabilities and resources to commercialize the technology. Any additional information, such as your annual report and product literature, will also be helpful. The may be non-exclusive or exclusive field of use. The license does not include technical as exclusive license. Issue fees and royalties may be higher than in a non-exclusive license. Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory Commercialization Info Industrial Partnerships Office for Reverend 0806118 Date Commercialization Information I General 1 Name of company, the Kansas City Stock Exchange member listed company, Energy Farms U.S. Partners, applicant through KC Capital Management Inc. Iowa/TA, Investment Advisory and Commodity Trading Advisory, and KC Capital Management Holdings LLC CPO, Commodity Pool Operator Secondary Market Intermediary by which sole proprietor may earn payout of performance-based fees, as a registration follows for use of said technology may allow pro rata ownership in what is known as a closed-end managed futures fund 2. Contact name and title, Avery Bovalinsky, President and CEO of KC Capital Management Inc. and the Kansas City Stock Exchange, Master Limited General Partner KC Capital Management Holdings LLC and Energy Farms U.S. Partners MLP Phone, 859-583-9016 Fax, 212-504-9574 Atten. Co-company attorney for the Kansas City Stock Exchange member listed companies Charles McCormick. Email, Bolinsky@capitalmanagement.com. KCCMBWO@gmail.com. Attorney email, Charles@mcublaw.com. 3. Mailing address, 212 Bluffwood Drive, Danville, Kentucky 40422. 4. What LLNL technologies are you interested in licensing? https://epo LLNL. Gov divided by Q equals technologies modular _ electromechanical _ batteries https://epo LLNL. Gov divided by Q equals technologies opticondensor 5. How did you learn about this LLNL technology? LLNL website X Industrial Partnerships Office website Federal Business Opportunity Announcement X LLNL Principal Investigator Publication Technical Conference Other X Google. I did this exact site when we made our first SAM. Gov request to be a power lines transmission operator and have been inspired but question feasibility ever since. 6. What type of license are you requesting? We would like to have an exclusive right to be a reseller to Electricity Futures bona fide hedgers for its manufacture and use. We would seek only an adaptation to license this battery and cable technology for exclusive use and cinching Electricity Futures trading signal. As the top World Cup advisor net performer for over 26 months would gladly trade in Electricity Futures, for which I have used a patented business method that includes codes to what has composed a theory of arbitrage called price physics, and for which the person who holds that patent allowed us to use old variations of his former models to develop code, and to which we would essentially require modest help in deployment, but otherwise would look to outsource the manufacture to other corporations to which we have been paying amounts we estimate to be between $350,000 in later stages and up to $2 million in earlier ones, that our license be as to a reseller contract for service pay for performance and credibility investment and commodity trading advisory to be required equipment. Any bona fide hedger must purchase in quantities of multiples of 400 modular electromechanical flywheel battery storage units and a minimum purchase amount of opticondenstor cable fiber wire no less than for a coverage area of 250 square miles of about 4 times the locational matrix. Box would include a separate 75-mile perimeter segmentation for which clusters of 100 units of batteries require purchase within 25 miles of separation to distance. For variance to width and size and amount, we would look for a competitive bear and collection of up to 40 megawatts to already be financed by the utility companies for which the sale is intended to access storage capacity. A license to issue the equipment as a reseller for service may include intention to announce the leverage necessary to build this technology is accessible, provided I have exclusive engagement rights to sell my trading system signals through the technology with which, measured by a type of order sent to be marked as expressly advised upon, will keep track of no more diurnal discharges or receiving transmissions, for which a 10-year life cycle would be planned. For each $1 million investment, we would try to earn at least 40-50% or $200 million per year for each of our members that we might consider construction cables. If we have to form a partnership through those that require 3-road party sale, our advisory services would be offered in exchange for construction payments, and we look to you to help us gain a significant competitive advantage. Use of the technology means we are interested in using it for industrial capacity we can offer to manage a new trading model we have already disclosed makes us the best futures trader and by far best trading company in the world. That through the website http://www.worldcupadvisor.com. Our model Quant Master and its pairs trading arbitrage program are mercilessly profiting through advances in genetic algorithms. We would be insulted for you not to let us engage you for providing the funds of the advancement and order fills for the construction of battery cells we feel are important to augment with the opticondenstor cable. We would like exclusive right to claim as intellectual property of KC Capital Management Inc. IWTA operations licensed for use in our pool of commodity trades. We have formed KC Capital Management Holdings LLC to become a registered CPO, the profitability of which depends only on you granting permission to license this product exclusively through our new master limited partnership, Energy Farms US Partners MLP. As also lender to any purchaser of industrial size, scale and quantity may also present a conflict of interest in forcing the use of our own proprietary intellectual property. The use of our present technologies regards formal application in the trading of ICE energy electricity futures of 40 MWPHR at a day's worth to a week's worth of power can be managed for the profitability and insurability of the successful underwriting of a $5 billion loan package. My Wall Street connections need the ability, if not the guarantee, that licenses to produce this amount of energy be allowed for us to act as Master Limited General Partner or MLGP, in which we act as the partnership general partner that is responsible to the limited factor of decision of when to store excess supply, buy off trading under supply, and ensure our partners we make these reservations understand we have purchased these technologies for the purpose of profiting from the electricity futures market. I offer my investment advisory, underwriting and commodity trading advice for the purchase, sale, storage, and hedging services we've already proven are the best advisory programs in the world and offered by your incentive to enter into the production market and not just speculation in these instruments. That we'd like to incentivize local utility and pharma cooperatives for which zoning permits to accept contracts for our services in a minimum scale of 1 battery and 1 connectivity cable determined in cost by the lowest amount of power we can offer to issue in the spot market only, but may be able to earn profits for trading price discovery. We would look for an unsubstantiated initial conversation to verify clarify to my lender, what I seek to represent is my company's exclusive patent and right to sell loan contracts for license with any green energy products or domestic utilities seeking the scale of at least one full size of 400 batteries and a 250 square mile involving purchase of at least 475-mile trusses, or wherever there could be determinable need to service an area with up to 1,000 miles, and no more than 5 contracts of electricity futures. No more than 2,000 electromechanical flywheel modular batteries may use the opticondenstor cable wires. We will attempt to fulfill your most wildest expectations that we also have a pricing mechanism, business method, patent our technology, and trading and financial instrument underwriting give us an advanced understanding of how to provide liquidity to our partners, and have sought no more than a $500 million investment project to which allocations I seek to define as strictly unlimited are talks. By what I believe this technology could do is allow MACTA to profitably trade in electricity futures we plan to offer by linking in monetary bona fide hedger transactions to use an as yet to be approved compensation schedule. We need to know about how our best commitment and sales pitch for our trading returns not be exclusively based on whether they allow our advice to be used. That for us to understand the nature of the partnership, I have eliminated a principal agent dilemma. I can act in the role of exclusively and non-subjectively determining in any way deemed to be such that by licensing the trading technology as being technologically capable of trading through multi-charts as we do on WorldCap Advisor, common for which we also offer multi-million-dollar licenses, we have chosen to limit number of units available to half of what would otherwise be possible for subscribers to allocate in their managed futures accounts to half of what is allocable to a managed futures closed-end fund, a commodity pool operator. Through commodity pool operator registration as a closed-end fund I once ran in my first 6 months of my commodity trading advisory with leverage-adjusted returns, I, with the help of my famous mentor who was a Stanford PhD in mathematical philosophy in the field of topology, wrote the diurnal trading method. We'd hedge through diurnal trading, and for which our only other applicable model based on volume charts may trade at least once monthly to bi-monthly I use based on what was the basis I referred to as price physics is truly what I once described to the author as a reverse polar notation vector polar calculus type of that utilize 8 quadrants to describe the state of the market as being in one of those 8 states: higher high breaches, lower highs, higher lows, lower lows, and the 4 so-called physical price failures of each characteristic modality. I would like you to note I would like to see for an economic Nobel laureate, if you'll allow my request for me to be the exclusive honor and right to produce procurement orders. You would also be expected if manufacturing is required for us to proceed. I'm willing to offer at least a $1 million production price baseline beginning at a quantity no less than 400 for sale up to 2,000 modular electromechanical flywheels I understand can hold a day's worth to a week's worth of power for a 100 kW PHR output that we send once transmitted as to have a goal to store up to 40 megawatts of a day's worth of power. ICE electricity futures give us the ability to trade with less than a $50 million drawdown for the $200 million annually. I estimate such an estimate would earn if the financial contracts earned $50 million on multiple sizes. The price I have intended to register with the proper authorities would clear through the CFTC and Commodity Credit Corporation, for which a management fee compounded up to the value of average value per transmission would be computed for performance based on moment of transmission received. We would use to calculate the performance of our TA and charge automatically to customers a rate of incentive, where average value per transmission and value of power under management would serve to be our asset-based fee level, and to which the moment received and each adapter connected to the flywheel may allow us to technically manufacture this technology exclusively for the production, storage, hedging, and potential arbitrage profit. We do not warn have no duty but default or failure, but for which no possibility will exist for any absence of profit on the part of our TA, and we make that warranty only to the case where we have held out our ability to be the absolute world's highest returning TA. That for me to explain to an organization of nuclear physicists I, too, was once educated to be the 3rd highest entrance exam into the United States Navy's Nuclear Power School entrance exam, whereby percentile my mathematical genius as a senior, inspired by the duties to defend by way of necessary destruction, enlightened myself to study these same categories. I only wish you could discuss if possible with government officials the veracity of my claim made here, because I was told that by percentile it was the 3rd highest 97th percentile score in 2002. I as a senior received only the offer of symbolic commitment I allowed myself to not pursue, but to a truly harmed, selfless case I now found myself yearning for. My one commitment I made for duty, life's honor, to hold to my heart like the sum of my cross arrows on a chart, and multi-charts will always hold dear as at least an example I give to all my countrymen, that in the case of my explanation and purpose of this application I want the sole right and perusal rates, including incentives, fees, and commissions, to be a license by where if any loans are made through my syndicates on Angelist co/Bovalinsky of a crowdfunding source which holds the video documentary I give to potential clients, and cannot find a reason why any more than 5 people have not subscribed to what was once in the hundreds, and to which my profession owes its entirety of public record to an advancement I added for a contract to complete a custom coding online subscription to which at this very moment as I type my supercomputer of 10 core 3. 27 GHz 16 GB RAM computer I can only afford to not lose by keeping this valuable piece of hardware as in such high regard that it was purchased alongside a new car to which I might have upgraded but